Hello, everybody. Nate Appleby here, Young Living Silver. I've been a silver for 13 months now, and I'm excited to share with you now GoPro skill number 2, inviting prospects. And Eric Worre, remember working on Eric Worre's GoPro book. This is skill number 2, and he talks about inviting prospects as being the gateway skill to network marketing, being a professional. When you learn how to invite, it's the gateway to huge opportunities for you, because we've all put our foot in our mouth. We've all said way more than we should have. We give many presentations. We get all crazy on going over the product and explaining it and getting way too detailed, and we lose people all the time. And so we want to try to simplify that process, and I'm going to be as simplified that I can be, and hopefully help you out. Hopefully you find some value in this. So here we go. So there's a few rules that are very important when you're going to invite someone to take a look at your product, our product, Young Living, or the business opportunity. And number one is you have to emotionally detach from the situation. You've got to just separate yourself from the outcome of what's going to happen. You can't be so attached that this person is going to not join or not want to try your product. You can't take it personally. And I know that's not easy, but if you can learn how to do it, and you do it from practice, and you just learn that, hey, not everybody's ready for what we have. Not everybody's ready for the business. Not everybody's ready for the product even though we know it, everybody can benefit from this product. It's very important to just understand that it might not be their time. But your job is to put people into this filter, into the funnel, and give them information, educate, give them understanding. And if you educate and understand, help people understand what we have to offer, then you'll get better and better at detaching emotionally, which will actually help you bring in more people. Because if you look desperate, if you're begging people to join, they're not going to join. But if you're like, hey, it's no big deal, I know why I'm doing this, and that's a big thing. Why is very important, and I'll probably get into that in some other videos. But if your why really comes out, then people are going to attach to your why and form their own why and join for that reason. So emotionally detach. You're not a hunter, remember. Your job is to educate. Rule number 2, be yourself. So many people become a different person when they start inviting, and this makes everybody uncomfortable. Seriously, just be yourself and try to be a better you, okay? Bring a little passion, rule number 3. Enthusiasm is very contagious. You can get a little bit fired up, that's okay. Focus, listen to some music that might inspire you. Smile when you're on the phone. Something that helps me is I like to be on the phone and look in the mirror, and then I can see myself. And if I'm just monotone and I'm not smiling, then that's going to come through on the other side. So I almost start laughing at myself sometimes because I'm like, oh crap, Nathan, smile, have some fun. Where's the energy? And before you know it, boom, then that's being portrayed on the other side of the phone. You'll get better results. Rule number 4, have a strong posture. This is very important. Don't be insecure. Be confident in what you have to offer people. Very confident. You have the best business model on the planet. It's the most fair form of capitalism. And you have one of the best products you could ever imagine when it comes to health and wellness. So don't be bashful. Don't be afraid. Have good posture. Be confident in what you're doing. Now, here's the invitation formula. There's 8 simple steps, and it really, literally does not take more than a minute or 2. And that's very important. One of the things you want to do, step number 1, is be in a hurry. We'll talk about these more in depth in a second. Step 1, be in a hurry. Step 2, compliment the prospect. Step number 3, make the invitation. Step number 4, if I, would you? Step number 5, confirmation number 1, get the time commitment. Step 6, confirmation number 2, confirm the time commitment. Step 7, confirmation number 3, schedule the next call. Step 8, get off the phone. So here we go. Step 1, be in a hurry. This is very psychological. People are more attracted, believe it or not, to someone who's in a hurry. You need to be respectful of the person you're going to call or talk to, their time, very much, because people are busy, and most of our busyness is made up in our heads. We create the busyness of our lives, but we're not going to get into that right now. So people are in a hurry, people are rushed, and so people are going to be more attracted to you if you're in a hurry. Example would be like this. You're talking to a warm market, somebody you know. Hey, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it was really important I reach you. Or, I have a million things going on, but I'm glad I caught you. Or, I'm running out the door, but I needed to talk to you real quick. Just a couple examples you might use. And you can tweak these examples any way you want to, absolutely. Step number 2 is very important. You need to compliment the prospect, and it needs to be sincere. Don't flatter, don't say, exaggerated things, just compliment them. Here's an example. Listen, you've been very successful, and I've always respected the way you've done business. Or, you've always been very supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. Or, for as long as I've known you, I've thought you are the best at what you do. Be sincere. Use something like that and just be sincere. Let's say you're at a restaurant and you have a great server. You might say something like, you've given me some of the best service I've ever received. Or, you're super sharp. Do you plan on doing this for the rest of your life? Something like that. Compliment them. Step 3 is make the invitation. This is where one size does not fit all. There's 3 kinds of invitation approaches. There's the direct approach, indirect approach, and the super indirect approach. So first of all, the direct approach is when you're talking to generally people that you probably know pretty well, kind of your inner circle people. So here's an example. When you told me that you hate your job, were you serious or were you just kidding around? Usually they're going to tell you they were serious. Great. I think I found a way for you to solve that problem. Maybe you say, I think I found a way for us to really boost our cash flow. Are you still looking for another job? I found a way for both of us to start a great business without all the risks. Those are some examples. Cold market, you might say something like, do you keep your career options open? Do you plan on doing what you're doing now for the rest of your life? I kind of mentioned that one already. The indirect approach, this is very powerful. This is something that you can use when you feel like maybe you lack a little credibility with the person, or you just want to take that indirect approach to have someone offer them to help you. For example, I just started a new business and I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practiced on you? Why would they say no, right? I mean, who's going to say no to that? And if someone in your inner circle or friend says no to you, you're going to be like, are you my friend? Oh my gosh. So it's a win-win situation. Or you could say, I found a business and I'm really excited about it. But what do I know? You've got so much experience. Would you look at it for me if I made it easy on you? And let me know if you think I'm making the right move. How about cold market? What do you say? Well, my company is expanding in your area. Would you do me a favor and take a look at it and let me know if you think it would work where you live? Super indirect approach. This is an approach that even when if you think someone might benefit from your business, but you're really nervous to talk to them about it, you can use this approach. Here's an example. The business I'm in clearly isn't for you, but I wanted to ask, who do you know that maybe is ambitious or money motivated or would be excited by the idea of adding more cash flow? Who do you know that might be looking for a strong business they could run from their home? Or who do you know that has hit a wall with their business and might be looking to diversify their income? A lot of people are in that situation. A lot of people. Step 4 is if I would you. This was Eric Worre's secret weapon for a number of years, and thankfully he's sharing that with us. So step 4 is, if I gave you a DVD, would you watch it? If I gave you a CD, would you listen to it? If I gave you a website link, would you check it out? If I invited you to attend an intro to oils class, would you come? It's a very powerful question because it's reciprocal. You're saying you will do something for them if they'll do something for you. As human beings, we're hardwired to respond to these types of situations. It also puts you in a place of power. You're in control and you're not begging. You're not asking for favors. You're simply offering a value exchange. You're saying, hey, I've got something of value. So if I would you in a business conversation is really powerful versus, hey, I really, really, really want you to come to my class. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now, step 5 and 6 and 7 is where we get the confirmations. This is important because right now, if you've gotten through step 4, you're at about a 5% return on investment, which means, hey, they're with you so far, but only 5% are going to actually follow through. Let's get that closer to 80%. Here's what we do. So you've said, if I would you, they said yes. The next step is to get a time commitment. When do you think you could watch the DVD for sure? When do you think you could listen to the CD for sure? When do you think you could check out the website link for sure? Don't suggest a time for them. Just ask the question, wait for them to respond. Just remember, you said, if I would you, they said yes. When you get that time commitment, it starts to be real. So from there, you are going to get the confirmation number 2. So let's say they say they'll watch the DV by Tuesday night. You respond by saying, great. So if I called you Wednesday morning, you would have watched it for sure, right? They say they'll listen to the CD by Thursday morning. Your response should be, so if I call you sometime later in the day on Thursday, you'll have listened to it for sure, right? They're going to either naturally say yes, or they're going to adjust the time. No big deal. If they adjust the time, just confirm it again. Remember, the key here is that this is an appointment they're setting. You haven't set an actual time or date. They're doing that for you. It's fantastic. So you're just confirming it. They're saying yes, and yes, and yes. So step 7 is confirm it the 3rd time, which is scheduling the follow-up or the next call. This is very simple. You just say, okay, so what's the best number and time for me to call? So let's say they said they would watch the DVD Wednesday night. Great. You say, so if I give you a call Thursday morning, you'll have watched it for sure, right? They say yes. Cool. What's the best number and time for me to call? They say, well, this number is my best number and probably 9 in the morning after I get the kids to school. Fantastic. I'll give you a call Thursday at 9. Step 8, get off the phone because you said you were in a hurry. Now don't undo your appointment. Don't start talking about all the things the oils have done for you. Don't start talking about the money you're making. Don't start talking about network marketing. If they start to ask questions, you can simply say, those are great questions, and they're all going to get answered at the class or in this video link or on the DVD or on the CD, whatever we're using for tools. That's what you refer back to. Get off that phone. Hey, I got to run. Thanks a lot. I'll give you a call then. Bye-bye. That's it. So here's a direct approach example that you might do with someone who hates their job. Hey, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it was really important I reach you. Listen, you're one of the most financially intelligent people I know, and I've always respected that about you. When you told me you really didn't like your job, were you serious or were you just kidding around? They say they're serious. Great. I think I found a way for you to create an exit strategy. I've got a CD that describes what I'm talking about better than I can. If I gave you this CD, would you listen to it? They say yes. When do you think you could listen to it for sure? They say Tuesday. So if I called you Wednesday morning, would you have reviewed it for sure? They say yes. All right, I'll check back with you then. What's the best number and time for me to call? They give you the info. Got it. We'll talk then. Gotta run. Thanks. Click. Hang up the phone. Here's an indirect approach with a good friend. Hey, I'm running out the door, but I needed to talk to you real quick. Do you have a second? Great. Listen, you've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. I've just started a new business, and I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practiced on you? They say, sure. Great. If I gave you a DVD that laid out the information in a professional way, would you watch it? They say yes. So it's about 15 minutes long. When do you think you could watch it for sure? They say Thursday. So if I called you Friday morning, you'll have reviewed it for sure, right? Fantastic. What's the best number and time for me to call? They give you the info. Great. We'll talk then. Gotta run. Thanks. Here's a super indirect approach to a highly successful person. I know you're busy and I have a million things going on too, but I'm glad I caught you. You've been wildly successful and I have always respected the way you've done business. I've recently started something new and I'm looking for some sharp people. It's clearly not for you, but I wanted to ask, who do you know that is ambitious, maybe looking for extra cash flow from another business option, something to help their lives? I understand that you'd want to know more about it before you recommend people. I've got a DVD that explains exactly what I'm doing and the kind of people I'm looking for. It's brief. If I sent one to you, would you review it? They say they would. Thanks. When do you think you could view it for sure? They say next Monday. Okay, so if I called you next Tuesday, you'll have reviewed it for sure, right? Okay, I'll check back with you then. What's the best number and time for me to call? They give you the info. Okay, great. Thanks again. I appreciate it so much. Talk to you Tuesday. And here's one more for you, a direct approach with a cold market prospect who's maybe done a good job selling you something. Now isn't the time to get into this and I have to go, but you are super sharp and I happen to be looking for some sharp people. Do you plan on doing what you're doing now for the rest of your career? They say no. Good, I've got something that might interest you. Now isn't the time to get into it, but I have a DVD that explains it all in great detail. If I gave it to you, would you watch it? They say yes. When do you think you could watch it for sure? They say Sunday. So if I called you Monday, you'll have reviewed it for sure, right? They say yes. All right, I'll check back with you then. What's the number and time for me to call you at? They give you the info. Okay, here it is. Thanks again for the excellent service. And I'll talk to you soon. Excuse me. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of some examples you could use. And I know it's scripted, but you've got to kind of come up with some wordings that work for you. And you've got to think about, kind of pre-qualify each person you're going to be calling. You know this person. And so you need to know what will be the best way to talk to them, how to invite them. Again, that super indirect approach works really well for almost anyone. And so know ahead of time, would this be a direct approach? Or should I use the indirect or even a super indirect? And if you're not sure, talk with your sponsor, talk with your coach, your mentor who's helping you, and go through that list, your active candidate list with them and say, hey, here's these people I've got on this list. I really want to invite this person. They're a doctor or, they're a teacher or whatever. How well do you know them? So talk it through and figure out the best approach for them. Another way to really understand what the best approach is knowing their why. But you've got to know your why first. And so people are going to relate to your why. So make sure you know your why. And if you have an idea of what their why might be, then that will really work well. The whole purpose of inviting, to summarize, is that when you're inviting, you're putting people into the filter or the funnel process. Whatever you like to use the word funnel or filter. I like the filter. And so you're putting people through a filter, and most people, need on average 3 to 5 what we call exposures before they can make a decision. Some people are more, some people are less. Some people might come to a class, boom, they sign up. Some people you don't live close to, and so you want to send them a link. They watch something. You talk to them on the phone. Maybe you do a 3-way call. The whole point is you're putting them into this filter process, and the invite follow-up is what keeps them in the filter until they have enough education and enough understanding where they can make an educated decision on coming on board or not. And that's the point. So put them in the filter, and we'll go from there. So skill number 3 after inviting is presenting your product or opportunity to your prospects. And what's great is a lot of you have upline support, and we're a team. That's the whole point. You don't have to memorize a presentation in the beginning, you get to use your upline support. So we're going to get into that in the next skill, and I will record that soon. In the meantime, happy inviting, and invite away. Get going. Build your business. What are you waiting for? Build it quickly. Invite quickly. Follow up with people. Get people to classes. Get people looking at videos, smelling oils, anything you can do as quickly as you can. The more people you put into that filter, the better, because you're going to create momentum. And momentum is one of the most amazing things in network marketing. Trust me. Build your business fast, and you'll never look back. Nate Appleby, thanks for your time. Bye-bye.